I'm going to do rear pads and rotors to Mr. White 2009 Mercury Milan Ford Fusion, same difference. These are screw-in type calipers. First thing I'm going to do is use a T40 Torx and get these Torx screws out of here. This thing has aftermarket rims on it too, so I got to take this plastic thing off for the rim. That won't be on a factory vehicle. I believe they call that a centering cone. These caliper bolts here are 14 millimeter. A 9/16 would probably work. I'm just going to use a vice grip to hold this nut because it's turning. It's probably like a 16 or a 17 millimeter, I don't know. Okay, now I can just get a pry bar and pop this out of here. This is what I mean by turn-in style. I'm going to show you how to turn these calipers in. Some people you can push them in and turn them at the same time if you're lucky, or else push it in and turn it and push it in and turn it. Some people can get in here with like a needle nose or something to get these to turn, but I got the real tool for it. You might be able to rent them. I bought mine at Harbor Freight a long time ago. The kit looks like this. It's like a $30 kit or something. I had to make a couple of these too for different stuff, Volkswagen, whatever. So what you do, you just find the right insert. It's got to fit in them grooves really nice. That one will work right there. Then you got this thing. This goes on here like this. Then you just line them two pins up with them two pinholes on here. Screw this back. But you just unscrew it to tighten it up, and then you want to turn this at the same time. And that'll screw this thing in. The only thing you got to do too is watch this boot. Sometimes this boot likes to stick and it'll twist up, and if it twists too much and it don't want to spin, it'll tear. And if it wants to twist, you got to open this up and put some lubricant behind this boot so it doesn't do that. This one's moving, so I don't have to worry about it. This is actually going in really nice. And you gotta make sure this pin is straight down too. See how it's kind of crooked? I want to move that because there's a pin on these pads. See this pin on the pads? That's got to line up with that. So I'm going to move this a little bit, turn it counterclockwise. Yeah, that should be square. It should be. These caliper support bracket bolts, these are 13 millimeter for whatever reason. There's a hole in this control arm, so you can get a socket in this hole and use a ratchet. Since I'm replacing these rotors, I can just give this a couple good whacks. I'm just going to kind of scrape the rust off of here. There's not much on here. There's only two contact surfaces on the outside and the inside ring. All this other stuff is like nothing. On these caliper support brackets, I just want to make sure these pins move really nice, and they do. I'm just going to wipe these pins down. When you start seeing a lot of rust on this groove right here, that's a sealing surface. So it's a good idea to get a wire wheel after that and wire wheel all that rust out of there so this boot can still seal really nice. If it doesn't seal, sooner or later you're going to get water in there, and that's no good. This other one looks really nice. I'm going to clean that up. There, that looks pretty good. I'm going to use silicone paste or dielectric grease for these caliper slide pins. Don't use disc brake quiet. Don't use the black stuff that comes with the brakes. This is what you use for this. You want to make sure all the air is burped out of this. Most of the time brake pads come with new abutment clips. This one didn't. So basically I just want to toss these in here and make sure they slide really nice, and they don't. They're stuck. This one works and this one does not. So I got to take these clips off and I got to find some rust. See the stuff falling off? It's all rusty and nasty. I got to clean all that up. Somewhere, yeah, there's a big chunk of rust on here. I'm just going to use a chipping hammer and chip this big flaky bunch of crusty, nasty stuff out of here. First glance it might look okay, but there's like a paint or a powder coat on these, and underneath it rusts. I'm going to hit it with a file. Do the same to the other side. You move real good. I'm going to scrape this a little bit, just make sure there's no high spots on the piston anywhere. I got disc brake quiet. A lot of times it'll come with your pads. You just want to put it on the contact surfaces, so a little bit on the piston and then a little bit on the back side of the caliper right here. Yeah, just a little here and a little here and a little there. Stick this baby on here. There, just make sure everything's tight and everything slides. Make sure these pads move real nice. I already know they do. And that's a brake job. Okay, bye. Yeah, see this boot? It's starting to turn with the piston. So I just blew it off a little bit, and I'm going to use some penetrant. I got some deep creep here. I like deep creep. I like the smell. I just get behind here just a little bit. See, and it just starts moving all on its own because I just lubed it up just a little bit. That way you won't have any problems with this thing ripping on you. See, it's just falling in real nice now.